if you're preparing to buy a deal or invest in a deal, secret shopping lets you verify that nearby comps are already proving out the business plan that you want to implement. And then if you already own a property, you can have a team member or yourself shop the competition weekly. And that's really essential for staying in tune with what the market is doing, how it's adjusting. And that way you can go ahead and adjust your strategy and your rents or your upgrades as you go. So that way you can stay competitive with the rest of the market. Welcome back to Keeping It Real Estate. I'm Mike Roeder, and today we're going to dive into a topic that's absolutely critical for multifamily investors, and that topic is secret shopping. So whether you're preparing to buy a deal or if you already own a deal or a property, secret shopping is one of the most effective tools that we've found for staying competitive with your competitors, understanding the market, and then fine-tuning your business plan and your team that you have in place at your asset. So in this episode, we're going to cover a few things: what secret shopping is and why it's so important, how to identify great competitors or comps, what to look for when shopping your competitors, and then why you should also be secret shopping your own properties. Now, if you're looking to stay ahead in the multifamily investing game, you're in the right place. If you want to stay connected with us, go to granitetowersequitygroup.com/invest to join our email list and get exclusive access to our latest investment opportunities, as well as our weekly newsletters that we put out. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So what exactly is secret shopping? Secret shopping is the process of posing as a prospective tenant to gather some real-time information about your competition or your own property. And you might be asking, why should I do this? Well, because your rents that you can charge are ultimately set by the market, and it's always a balancing act. You're trying to achieve the highest possible rents and you're trying to maintain the strongest occupancy. Now, if you're preparing to buy a deal or invest in a deal, secret shopping lets you verify that nearby comps are already proving out the business plan that you want to implement. And then if you already own a property, you can have a team member or yourself shop the competition weekly. And that's really essential for staying in tune with what the market is doing, how it's adjusting. And that way you can go ahead and adjust your strategy and your rents or your upgrades as you go. So that way you can stay competitive with the rest of the market. So in short, secret shopping keeps you informed, keeps you competitive, and gets you prepared to succeed. So let's talk a little bit about identifying great comps. This is a key piece of secret shopping when you're going to acquire a property or even when you have a property that you currently own. And, you can go out and you can select, just random competitor properties, and you might get some decent data, but you really need to hone in on what comps are your best comps for your asset to be looking at. So a few things that you're going to want to look at to make sure that you have a great comp selected. Number one, construction date. This is really, really important. So you typically want to have a vintage property when you're looking at a comp that's within about 5 years of the age of your property. So if you own or if you're buying, let's see, a 1975 year built property, you're not going to want to look at an asset that was built in 1990, 2000. You're going to want it within about 5 years of your property. You also want to take a look at unit count. Super, super important. Usually you want it to be within 50 to 100 units of your property size. So for example, let's say you're buying a 150 unit property. You don't want to go out there and compare it to a 350 or 400 unit property. Reason being, those bigger apartment complexes, they typically have a lot more amenities. There might be some pitfalls as well, but it's just not a good competitive property in size. So try to keep as close as possible in the size range. And then also when you get to a smaller property, say you're buying a 15 unit property, it's not going to be a great comparable to compare to a 75 or a 90 unit property, because that 90 unit property is probably going to have on-site staff. They're probably going to have some amenities. Whereas if you're buying a 12 unit property, you're probably not going to have those additional benefits. And then the third thing is similar amenities and unit upgrades. Very, very important. So first off, amenities, if they have additional amenities, they're probably going to be able to charge a little bit of a premium on the rent. So you want to find something that's fairly comparable. And then unit upgrades, you really want to look at comparable properties that have unit upgrades that are similar to what you're looking to achieve on the asset that you're investing in or the asset that you're acquiring, or the asset that you currently are managing. So by focusing on comps that align with your asset size, the age, and the features, you'll get the most accurate picture of your market positioning. Now, the key is making sure your comparables are apples to apples and understanding how your property stacks up in the eyes of the potential renters. So try to take a step back and view the comparable properties in your property as a prospective resident. Setting your prices in line with the market is really a delicate balance, like I mentioned before. It requires a deep understanding of your competition and your property's unique value proposition. And the goal is to price competitively while capturing the highest rents possible without sacrificing your occupancy. If you bump your rents up too high and you don't have a comparable product or you don't have additional value in the asset, you're likely not going to rent it to as many residents. So then your occupancy is going to suffer. So it's constantly a balancing act. Let's go through a quick example. So if your competition is charging $1,500 for a unit similar to yours, you might be able to justify charging more, say $1,550 if your unit offers additional value. So features like maybe you have a washer dryer connection and they don't. Maybe you have some upgraded finishes like a granite countertop and they have a Formica countertop. Or maybe you have a more appealing location within the property that can warrant a premium. So maybe your submarket is a little bit better, or maybe you just have a better unit with a better view or better location on the asset. So all these items are going to make a difference on what you can charge for rents. You need to be in tune with what the comps are doing. You need to be in tune with what you're doing. A couple other things that you're going to want to take a look at is the size of the unit types. You want to make sure those are as close as possible. So if you're, renovating a 1-bedroom, 1-unit, and let's say it's 700 square feet, and you look at a comp and they have a 1-bedroom, 1-bath unit, and they're 730 square feet, that'd be a possible great comp unit. Now, let's say their 1-bedroom, 1-bath unit was 900 square feet. That's going to be tough to compare. You can take a look at the rent per square foot, which might give you some data, but it's still going to be skewed. So make sure to tune into that. So unit size and upgrades, super important. Floor level and amenities, very important. And then additional fees is going to be really important as well. So if you include utilities or offer packages like parking or Wi-Fi, it might be perceived as additional value and justify a higher rent. So keep that in mind. So ultimately, your pricing needs to reflect the market while considering your property's unique value that it offers. And Secret Shopping really gives you real-time data needed to stay competitive and avoid pricing your property out of the market. It's, again, all about balancing value and affordability to maximize your revenue while maintaining your occupancy. So when you're shopping your competitors, you're gathering some critical information to help guide your rent and marketing strategies. Here's what we think that you should focus on when secret shopping competitors: unit size, unit upgrades, floor level, utilities. Are they billing back for utilities or are they including it in the rent? So water, sewer, trash, electricity, gas, Wi-Fi. Figure out what the competitors are doing and make sure that you're not too far off from what they're offering where they're at. Parking fees, also very important. So you might go out and shop a competitor and they might be giving, free parking, free covered parking, a free garage. That's going to play into what the residents or what the future prospective residents are going to do or who they're going to rent from. So make sure you understand that as well. And then technology packages. Are they including a technology package? Are they charging additional funds for that? If they're charging additional for it, that might be a great value add opportunity for you at the subject property. And then the last piece would be daily pricing or set pricing. This is very, very important. So what daily pricing is it's basically a software system. Multiple companies do it, and they keep close tabs on the occupancy rates at the subject property in the market. And so let's say you have a 400 unit property and 100 of those units are 2-bedroom, 1-bath units, and you have 98 of them leased out and you have 2 that are coming available. Those units are probably going to be pretty pricey because you don't have a lot of availability. So they're going to bump those way up. And, let's say the next day, a few more come on, well, then the pricing might go down. And then, let's say a couple of them are rented, then the pricing might go up. So the pricing is continually fluctuating with that daily pricing, which can be a great strategy on the asset level. Now, set pricing, there's going to have to be a manual reset on the pricing. And a lot of times that'll happen on a weekly or a monthly or a quarterly basis, sometimes more often than weekly. But usually it's a set price for an extended period of time. So understand if they're using daily pricing And if they are, I would pay close attention to that. And if there's a huge delta on what you think you can get for rent and what they're charging for rent, that might be because they're using daily pricing. So don't let that deceive you. And don't forget to evaluate the on-site team when you're shopping these comps as well. So are they friendly? Are they professional? Do they follow a clear leasing process? How do they handle tours and inquiries? That can make a big difference on occupancy and what they're able to charge for rent. So make sure you tune into that and mark down that on-site leasing staff and that on-site manager that you worked with when you toured a comparable property and how they did. I would give them a 1 to 10 rating. Were they a 10? Did they do absolutely phenomenal? Or are they a 1? And then compare them to your on-site staff and what you think your on-site staff, measures out to be. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention, secret shopping isn't just about competitors. It's also about evaluating your own property. Now, whether your property is underperforming, it's right on par, or it's kicking butt, you should be secret shopping that asset, or you should have the general partnership crew or whoever is managing your asset, managing the investment, should be doing that secret shopping. Now, sometimes the property management company that's in place will secret shop. Sometimes they won't. I would still recommend to do this on your own because you want to trust but verify. You want to make sure that your on-site crew is doing a great job. So here's how we do it. We call the property posing as a prospective tenant. So we just say a random name and we say we're looking to lease, a so-and-so type of unit. We ask about the rates and the availability. We pay attention to how our team members answer. Do they provide helpful information? Do they sound enthusiastic and professional? Very, very important. Or do they come across as uninterested and rushed? Do they ask the right questions? A few questions that you want to make sure that they're asking. Number one, you want to make sure that they're getting your contact information and that they're following up with you after the call. Extremely important. You want to make sure that they're trying to schedule a showing, make sure that they ask about that. You want to make sure that they're sharing all the benefits of living at the property and that they're enthused about, the asset that they're working on. That's super important. And then you want to make sure that they're really helpful. If you have any questions, you want them to have the answer right away, and you want them to respond with an enthusiastic response. So we put together a rating system on how we rate our on-site employees when we do a secret shop like this. We have a team member on our team doing this multiple times a month. And if a property fails, we increase the amount of times that we do it per month. Then we share that information with the property management team so that way they can coach the on-site team members appropriately and get them up to standard if they aren't already, hitting their standards. And then if they do a great job, share that information with them. They love to hear when they did a fantastic job, especially from the ownership crew or the management crew. So keep that in mind. Make sure that you secret shop often. If you're passively investing in a deal or invested in a deal, just make sure to ask about that and make sure that the asset management team does this on the regular. So to wrap up, secret shopping is a very powerful tool for multifamily investors. It helps you stay competitive by understanding your market, validate your business plan before buying a deal. You want to make sure that you're validating that you can do what you say you're going to do and you're going to be able to get the rents that you say you're going to get. It allows you to fine tune your property's rent strategy and amenities as you're going, and it ensures your on-site team is delivering a top-notch experience. So again, make sure to do this often. Let us know if you have any questions or if you need guidance on how to secret shop. And, the bottom line is you can't afford to skip this step. This is a crucial piece of asset management. So whether it's your competitors or your own property, it gives you the insight that you need to stay ahead and make informed decisions. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Keeping It Real Estate. If you're ready to explore investment opportunities in 2025, which we think there's going to be some really good opportunities, given that we believe that we're essentially at the bottom of the multifamily market right now, don't wait. Head over to granitetowersequitygroup.com/invest and join our deal list today. Let's make your real estate investing goals a reality. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week, Tuesday, for another episode of Keeping It Real Estate.